Subaru SVX. Now you own one of the most advanced performance luxury cars in the world. Subaru has provided this video to help you enjoy your new car. It covers what to do before driving, vehicle security system, operating controls, driving techniques for different road and weather conditions, operation of the automatic climate control system, stereo and CD player, special features, service and maintenance, and what to do in case of a roadside emergency. This overview will be helpful, but does not replace detailed information in your owner's manual. Take the time to read the owner's manual thoroughly to learn more about your vehicle. The numbers at the bottom of the screen are keyed to a printed index that's enclosed with your videotape. They'll help you find specific features and instructions. Before driving your Subaru SVX, here are a few quick tips on some of those features and adjustments you may wish to use. Lifting the driver's side door handle illuminates the lock area. This one key opens the doors, trunk, and glove box. This valet key opens the doors only and also works the ignition. Vehicle security on the Subaru SVX is managed by a transmitter-driven system which also operates the door locks and interior lighting. If you accidentally set off the alarm at any time, simply depress the transmitter button for 1 second to deactivate it. The security system is made operational by releasing this button to the out position. Now the system can be armed either actively or passively. You can actively arm or disarm the system by depressing the transmitter button for 1 second. This also locks or unlocks the doors. If you actively arm the system with the transmitter, you must also actively disarm it using the transmitter. The key will set off the alarm and disable the ignition. Again, the quickest way to turn off the alarm is to press the transmitter button for 1 second. The security system can also be armed passively. If the instrument panel security switch is in the out position, the system will arm itself 45 seconds after both doors and the trunk lid are closed. Remember, once the system has armed itself, using the key to open the trunk will set off the alarm. You must first deactivate the system with the transmitter. You'll find the easiest way to use the security system is to actively turn it on and off by simply pressing the transmitter button for 1 second. The horn will sound once to signal that the system is armed, or twice to signal that the system is disarmed. Please read the security section in your manual for complete details on its operation. The manual seats on the SVX without the touring package are adjusted fore and aft with a lever below the seat bottom. These rotary knobs adjust the height and angle of the front part of the seat bottom cushion and the back part of the seat cushion. This reclining lever adjusts the seat back 10 degrees forward and 50 degrees back. This lever provides 3 different levels of lumbar support. On the optional power seat, the controls mimic the actual movements of the seat bottom and the seat back. Remember, never adjust your seat while driving. A retractable storage tray under the passenger seat can hold small valuables. For safety, be sure it is closed while driving. To adjust the power mirrors, select the left or right mirror and press the positioning switch. Remember that objects in the convex passenger side mirror appear smaller than they really are, so do not use it to judge distances. To operate the optional outside mirror defoggers, push the switch to on. The indicator light will come on and remain lit until it is pushed again to turn them off. This lever releases the tilt telescope wheel to the up position for easy exit. You can quickly return it to the preset position simply by pulling the wheel down. The wheel can be set at any of 6 different tilt positions, and the telescope feature allows tailoring the reach for optimum driving comfort. Remember, never try to adjust the steering wheel while driving. For additional driver protection, the Subaru SVX has a standard steering wheel mounted supplemental restraint system airbag. This system deploys only in a moderate to severe frontal impact, not in a side, rear, or rollover accident. It functions once only and must be replaced by a Subaru dealer. To obtain maximum protection, the driver and passengers should always wear seat belts. The supplemental restraint system airbag is not meant to replace seat belts. only to supplement the driver's belt. The passive belt system for the front seat passengers positions the shoulder belt. It should remain connected at all times, except when an emergency exit from the vehicle is necessary. Remember that you must manually fasten the lap belt for more effective protection. Manual lap and shoulder belts are also provided for rear seat passengers. You can remove this trim plate for access to the built-in child safety seat anchor bolt. The driver's side power window switch is lighted. For child safety, the window controls include this lockout switch to disable all but the driver's window switches. Push it a second time to unlock the other window controls. The driver's window has an auto up and auto down one-touch feature. Simply push the switch down or pull it up slightly harder and then release. The window will fully open or close automatically. If you own a Subaru SVX with the optional touring package, this is a brief overview of its additional features. If you own a Subaru SVX without the touring package, you can advance to the next section. In addition to genuine leather seats and an 8-way adjustable power driver's seat, the touring package includes a leather-wrapped steering wheel and vehicle speed-sensitive power steering, a leather-wrapped gear selector knob and parking brake handle, an electrically powered sunroof that pauses when closing for safety, a CD player that has the added capability of playing 3-inch CDs, and additional tweeters for extra sound fidelity, making a total of 6 electronically controlled speakers. Altogether, the touring package is a valuable upgrade to the Subaru SVX. Before starting the car, the gear shift selector lever must be in park or neutral. Start the car by turning the ignition key to start, but do not touch the accelerator pedal. The fuel injection system sets the starting idle speed and lowers it automatically as the engine warms up. In extremely cold weather, you may have to start the engine while slightly depressing the accelerator pedal. Release the pedal as soon as the engine starts. Also, do not operate the starter motor continuously for more than 10 seconds. When shutting the car off, the engine should be idling. Remove the key by pushing in and turning it counterclockwise to lock. The Subaru SVX automatic transmission is completely electronically controlled. The button on the grip must be pushed to select the P, R, or 2 positions. A shift lock system provides an extra safety measure. The selector cannot be moved out of park unless the key is in the on position and the brake pedal is depressed. The shift release button allows manual operation of the selector lever in case of battery damage or electrical system malfunction. The gear position for normal driving is drive. In drive, the transmission shifts automatically through first, second, third to fourth gear. Pressing the accelerator firmly to the floor causes a downshift for more hill climbing or passing power. If the accelerator pedal is depressed quickly, the transmission's computer program automatically selects the power mode for rapid acceleration or hill climbing. Third position is used for climbing hills or when engine braking is needed for going down hills. The transmission still shifts automatically between first, second, and third, downshifts when the accelerator is fully depressed, and switches automatically between power and normal mode. Second position is for driving on sand, muddy roads, hill climbing, or engine braking downhill. Again, the transmission still retains all its normal functions between first and second gear. First position is for driving up or down very steep grades or for driving through mud, sand, or on slippery surfaces. In the second and third gear positions, you can lock the transmission out of first gear by pressing the manual switch on the gear selector knob. The manual light on the instrument panel signals that the transmission is in this mode. The vehicle will start out in second gear. If the selector is in third, the car starts in second but shifts into third during low-speed driving. The manual button is used for starting up on slippery surfaces such as snowy roads or mud, where the first gear torque might cause the wheels to slip. To set the parking brake, hold the service brake pedal down and pull up firmly on the parking brake lever. Always set the parking brake when parked. Don't rely on the transmission alone to hold the vehicle. To release the parking brake, lift the lever slightly, press the button, and lower the lever while keeping the button pressed. Your Subaru SVX is equipped with an anti-lock brake system, or ABS. You may notice a sound at about 4 miles per hour when the car first moves after the engine is started. This is the ABS system doing a self-test, and that's normal. The engine in your Subaru SVX is designed to use only premium unleaded gasoline with an octane rating of at least 91. Never use fuel containing more than 10% ethanol. Gas tank capacity is 18.2 U.S. gallons. Fuel system damage or drivability problems resulting from improper fuel use are not covered under the warranty. Now some tips on driving the first 1,000 miles in your new vehicle. By following these tips, you'll ensure the best and most lasting performance. Never race the engine. Avoid sudden starting and rapid acceleration, except in an emergency. Avoid hard braking, except in an emergency. Avoid high-speed driving on rough roads. Do not drive for long periods at one constant speed. And never exceed 4,000 RPM engine speed except for brief acceleration in an emergency. This section covers operation of lights, wipers, washers, cruise control, and some warning lights. This lever operates the lights only when the ignition switch is on. This position turns on the parking lights, instrument lights, side marker lights, and license plate light. This position turns on the headlights. Push the lever away from you for high beam headlights. Return it to the center position for low beams. Pulling the lever toward you flashes the high beams for passing. It works even when the lights are turned off. Do not hold the lever in the flashing position for more than just a few seconds. This switch operates the fog lights when the headlights are on low beam. Press it again to turn the fog lights off. Brightness or dimming of the instrument panel illumination is controlled here. When you turn on the headlights, the clock, climate control readout, shift indicator, and other indicators dim, adjusting for your night vision. But when driving in the daytime with the headlights on, this automatic feature may make the indicators seem too dim. If that's the case, press this bright control to return them to their original brightness. The turn signal has a lane change feature. To use it, move the lever part way to its locking position and hold it there until you're done signaling. The parking light switch turns on the parking lights, front and rear side marker lights, and license plate lights, regardless if the ignition is on or off. The right-hand stalk operates both the front and rear wipers and washers. To use the front wipers, pull the stalk down. This first position is for intermittent wiping. The inner ring on the stalk sets the operating interval. However, its speed changes with vehicle speed because it is computer controlled to wipe faster as the car goes faster. The second stalk position is for normal speed wiping, and the lowest position is for high-speed wiper action. The one swipe missed feature is activated by pulling the stalk towards you. To operate the front windshield washer, press in on the button at the end of the stalk. To use the rear wiper, turn the outer ring clockwise. The first position is intermittent. The second position is normal speed, and turning all the way operates the rear washer. Turning the ring counterclockwise operates the rear wiper and washer for as long as it is held in that position. In winter, you can use the wiper select switch beneath the instrument panel to change the front wiper rest stop. The ignition key must be at accessory or on. Normal is the concealed wiper position, and winter is the rest position above the hood. This prevents the wipers from becoming freeze-locked under the hood. The rear window defogger is turned on and off with this switch. Read your owner's manual for cautions about care of the rear window defogger grid. Now here are a few instrument panel warning lights you might encounter. The power indicator was described in the section on transmission shift selection. It comes on when the accelerator pedal is depressed quickly. If it stays on after the engine starts, the steering warning light indicates there may be a problem in the vehicle speed-sensitive power steering control system. If this occurs, you should contact your nearest Subaru dealer as soon as possible. This light operates only on touring package-equipped vehicles. The cruise control on the Subaru SVX is turned on or off with this switch. Cruise control functions are operated from this paddle-type switch on the right, just behind the steering wheel. Set your desired speed or decelerate by pressing down toward the set coast direction. Resume the set speed after braking or accelerate in 1 mile/hour increments by pressing up toward the accel resume direction. To cancel cruise control, pull the paddle toward you. Remember to turn the system off with the main switch. In this section, we'll cover ABS brake system operation, the basic all-wheel drive system, and some tips on difficult driving conditions. The ABS system prevents the brakes from locking up during sudden braking or braking on slippery roads. This improves directional stability and steering control. When the ABS is operating, you may hear a mechanical sound and feel a slight pulsation from the brake pedal and through the vehicle body and steering wheel. This is normal. Two cautions. When the ABS system is operating, you may feel a slight change in the steering. Also, when driving on badly surfaced roads, gravel roads, or deep, newly fallen snow, the stopping distance may be longer than anticipated, even with ABS. Under these conditions, reduce your speed and leave a safe distance from other vehicles. Your Subaru SVX automatically splits engine torque between the front and rear wheels. Its viscous limited slip differential splits torque between the left and right rear wheels. Now some driving tips. Remember that the SVX all-wheel drive system was designed for on-road use, not off-road use. It is not an all-terrain vehicle. You will be able to climb steeper roads under snowy or slippery conditions than with a front-wheel drive vehicle. But there is little difference in the handling going down a slope, especially while turning sharp corners or braking. Be sure to reduce your speed and maintain a safe distance from other vehicles. There are other driving tips in your Subaru SVX Owner's Manual. Your Subaru SVX has an automatic climate control system. It features an advanced design variable displacement air conditioning compressor that doesn't have to cycle on and off. However, it does shut off temporarily when the accelerator is fully depressed for extra passing power. For normal operation, press the auto switch and set the temperature control. A setting of 75 degrees throughout the year is recommended. The temperature control can be set up or down in 1-degree increments between 65 and 85 degrees. When cooling or dehumidification is not required, press the economy switch. This shuts off the air conditioning compressor. The defrost, circulate, and fan switches activate those functions, while all other functions remain automatic. The vent switch allows outside air into the vehicle, with its temperature uncontrolled and the fan on medium. Circulate shuts off the outside air inlet and recirculates inside air. It's for use on dusty roads. Automatic control resumes in 10 minutes. This switch displays outside temperature for 5 seconds. To turn off the automatic climate control, press off. This door conceals the stereo components for greater security and smoother styling. The same knob is used for both power on-off and volume control. The fader control adjusts front to rear speaker balance. The balance control adjusts left to right speaker balance. Bass and treble controls are also provided. A graphic equalizer is not necessary because the system has been tuned to the car's interior. To preset a station, press the scan button or tune manually to the desired frequency. Press one of the preset buttons down for at least 2 seconds to store the station in memory. The frequency will flash once. The cassette tape player auto-loads the tape and begins playback. The radio station preset buttons double as function buttons for the tape player. Read your owner's manual for operation of the program button, automatic program search or APS button, and Dolby noise reduction button. The tape player automatically adjusts for metal or chrome tape, and MTL shows on the display. The optional CD player is easy to operate. With its label up, insert a compact disc partway into the player slot, and it loads automatically. In addition to standard size CDs, you can also play 3-inch discs in this unit. Use the radio knobs to adjust the volume and tone. Read your owner's manual for the CD player functions and display readouts. We'll cover just a few here. The play-stop button will start CD playback, stop it, then restart it at the same place on the disc. The track button advances to the next song or goes back to the prior song each time you press it. When you release it, the song you selected will begin playing. Pressing the scan button plays the first 10 seconds of each selection. Press it again to continue playing the song you are hearing. The repeat button causes continuous play of the song you are currently hearing. To cancel, press the button again. The eject button pushes the disc out even when the ignition is in the lock position. Let's take a quick look at some of the many standard features and some of the optional features on your Subaru SVX. The console provides extra storage. The illuminated driver and passenger mirrors light automatically when opened. Pressing this arrow button once tilts the optional sunroof up for ventilation. Press the button again and the sunroof opens all the way. This hex wrench is provided to open or close the sunroof manually in case of malfunction. The sunroof automatically stops halfway through the closing cycle for extra safety. Simply press the arrow button again to close the sunroof all the way. The overhead spotlights are operated by the switches next to them. The room switch operates the interior dome light. When the door switch is depressed, the dome light operates automatically when either door is opened. The fuel filler door release lever and the trunk release lever are located here. The trunk lid can also be opened with the master key, but not the valet key, and a lock switch on the trunk latch mechanism can be set to prevent the release lever from opening the trunk. When set at open or cancel, only the master key will open the trunk. This is handy when leaving the car with a valet. For additional storage space, the rear seat back provides trunk-through access. Release the latch under the right rear headrest to fold the seat back down. But remember, passengers should never be allowed to ride on the folded down seat back. There's also a locking device behind the seat back cushion to prevent unwanted access to the trunk. This section covers normal maintenance procedures that are often performed by owners. For service inspections and repairs, see your Subaru dealer. Open the hood by pulling this release handle under the left side of the instrument panel and moving the hood latch safety catch in the direction of the arrow. Let's start with a quick overview of where everything is located. Shut the engine off before performing maintenance checks. Here's where you'll find the oil dipstick, engine coolant filler bottle, transmission dipstick, power steering fluid reservoir, brake fluid reservoir, differential dipstick, fuse and relay box, and front windshield washer fluid reservoir. The rear window washer fluid reservoir is easy to reach when the trunk lid is open. The oil level should be maintained between these two holes in the dipstick. When changing the oil and oil filter, the oil capacity is 6.3 U.S. quarts. Add oil here. See your owner's manual for recommended grades of oil. Check the coolant level at the reserve tank while the engine is cool. If the level is close to low, add an ethylene glycol coolant that is safe for aluminum engines up to the full mark. Coolant system capacity is 7.4 U.S. quarts. Check the automatic transmission fluid after driving the car for several miles so that the transmission is at operating temperature. Park the car on a level surface and put the gear shift selector in each position before putting it in park. Set the emergency brake. In order to get an accurate reading, you must leave the engine running. Be very careful to stay clear of moving engine parts. Also, make sure you're not wearing loose-fitting clothing or jewelry. If the fluid level is below the hot range, add fluid up to the F line. The recommended fluid is Dexron 2 type automatic transmission fluid. If the level has to be checked with the transmission cold, it should be within the cold range. You should also check the differential gear oil. If the oil level is below the low mark, add differential gear oil to bring it to the high mark. Add new differential gear oil through the dipstick hole. Check your owner's manual for the recommended grade. Also, be sure to have your rear differential fluid level checked periodically by your nearest Subaru dealer. The power steering fluid level should be checked at operating temperature. If it is below the hot range, add Dexron 2 ATF to the upper mark. If checked cold, read the level based on the cold mark. Check the brake fluid level on the outside of the translucent tank. If it is below the minimum line, add brake fluid up to the max line. Again, check your owner's manual for the recommended fluid. Engine compartment fuses can be inspected here after setting the ignition switch to lock. Check your owner's manual for additional information on the main fuse and fusible link. Use the fuse puller provided in the fuse box cover, which also shows the fuse capacities and circuits. Always use new fuses with the same amp rating as the ones being replaced. If a fuse blows after replacement, have the electrical system checked by your nearest Subaru dealer. A second fuse box is located on the left side of the driver's compartment just above the kick panel. It contains additional interior system fuses. Your tires affect handling, ride quality, and fuel economy. That's why it's important to check the tires frequently for proper inflation pressure, wear, and cuts. Check the tire pressure cold after the car has been parked for at least 3 hours. Optimum tire pressures for ride, handling, and fuel economy are front 33 pounds per square inch and rear 28 pounds per square inch. Also, remember that your tires and wheels are directional. That means they work best when mounted to rotate in the proper direction, and handle the aluminum wheels carefully to maintain their appearance, performance, and safety. For possible vehicle malfunctions that prevent continued driving, here are a few tips. If you have a flat tire while driving, never brake suddenly. Keep driving straight ahead while reducing speed slowly. If possible, park on a hard, level surface. Put the transmission in park and apply the parking brake. Stop the engine, turn on the hazard warning flashers, and have everyone get out of the vehicle. The spare tire and jack are stored under the floor of the trunk. When using the temporary type spare, never exceed 50 miles per hour, and replace it with a conventional tire as soon as possible. Loosen the 5 wheel nuts with the wrench provided, but don't remove them. When using the jack, it's a good idea to place blocks in front of and behind the wheel diagonally opposite the one being changed. Also, be sure to place the jack at one of the jack-up points, which are behind the side sill flange. Make sure it's positioned correctly. Turn the jack handle until the top of the jack engages correctly. Then continue turning until the tire clears the ground. Some common sense precautions help avoid injury when using the jack. Don't jack the vehicle when it's on an incline or with passengers inside. Always place the transmission in park and set the parking brake before jacking. Don't swing or push the vehicle or load or unload any cargo. Never get under the vehicle and never start or run the engine while the car is jacked up. In case the vehicle is inoperative, you must use a flatbed truck or a tow truck with a wheel tow and a vehicle rear wheel dolly to get both the front and rear wheels off the ground. This protects the all-wheel drive system and is mandatory in case of transmission failure. Don't forget to read your owner's manual for more details and other important information not covered here. With the proper attention to service and maintenance procedures, your new car will provide the pleasure you expect. So enjoy all the advantages of a truly advanced performance luxury car, your Subaru SVX.